Guys, I hadn't planned on making a video today, but I had several very strange encounters with some very strange bipedal primates today. And I wanted to share these experiences with you while we try an experiment. Taking the advice of one of our commenters on our channel here, which I do often, as you know. And we're going to do something very special with a fruit basket we're going to be gifting today. And my brand new high definition capable 1080p iPhone 11 that we've been using lately. We're going to combine the two based upon some what I think is pretty good advice, at least worth a try from one of you. So this video that you're watching right now is not being recorded, uploaded, and published in 1080 high definition. If that bothers you, click away now. Okay, so if you're still here, you're watching in 360, okay? Now, here's what's going on. I had to go into town today, and I had to be around other human beings, and I love the entire human race. I just don't really always understand some of them who are members of such said race. I put it this way before, I lived overseas for 8 years, and sometimes I feel like I've forgotten my own language, English, my native language, because, well, I live in a university area, and things that can be said in 5 words are often said in 50, or never said at all. They're hinted at, and you're supposed to figure out what they mean. I'm not very good at that, because for many years I had to simplify my language, which turned out actually to help me in my writing, because outside of university towns, people don't talk that way. So anyway, here's what we're going to do. Let's start first with the experiment, okay? Because we've gotten some wonderful, sound like a cannon. We've gotten some wonderful advice from viewers like you here at PBS. Oh, that's another experiment. That's part 2 of the experiment. All right, the potential Bigfoot Sasquatch. Show. Okay, nothing that time. Guys, make sure you're getting my 6. So, we've noticed a couple of new phenomena, or at least you have in the comment section. You see things I don't. Sometimes you hear things I don't. Sometimes, potentially, I'll see something here in the camera, but when I look back with my naked eye, there's nothing there to be seen. So I don't know if these entities that may or may not live in the forest behind my home have the capability to mess with software, technology. Many folks say they do. Many folks say they can see infrared. They know when it's there. Who knows? I mean, I am not an expert. I'm not even a researcher. I'm just trying to figure out what may or may not be in the woods out here behind my house, and I've invited you to come along with me, and I'm thankful that you're here. But somebody said recently, a few people have said recently, and I eat regularly. I eat a lot. I'll hike miles and miles into the forest. I'm not today. I'm just inside the tree line behind my home. But this week I've hiked miles into the forest, back into the potential Bigfoot Sasquatch lair, found bodies of water, found unmarked graves, found caves with parts of animals in them, found some really creepy stuff. Then I'll hike miles and miles back out. Then I'll go run 5 miles. So I'm constantly eating because I'm very active. I'm always burning a lot of calories. But at times I do get lightheaded. I get like these slight headaches or lightheaded and sometimes nauseous when I'm making these videos. And there's been a couple times when I've kind of thrown up, as I just almost did. Folks have said they see weird lights before this happens. I don't see any lights out here before this happens. Okay, so I was thinking it's got to be the phone. Something's going on. Something's coming at me. The phone's picking something up. Well, then we switched over to the new iPhone S. And now when these things happen, folks have commented that they hear some weird like electric sound, like a zapping sound or something, but they're not seeing the light. So I don't know what's going on. That's part of what we're trying to find out here today. Okay. But now here's the big one. You know, we've recorded some amazing footage in the past. I thought I saw something moving here between these white pine trees back here. Keep your eyes out in that area. Wow, looks like over here too. So anyway, somebody, many people suggested strapping a GoPro to my head and see what we pick up. And I did that. And I went all the way to the top of the Blue Ridge up here and found something that looked like a black bear one minute, a man leaning against a tree the next, and then it seemed to morph into a black panther and slither away. So anyway, somebody suggested, I've been putting out all these walnuts, and this is why I had to go into town. It's the deer's fault. I'm out of walnuts, and it's all the deer's fault. And I know you're saying, Crazy Lake, deer don't eat walnuts. The deer could not have eaten all of your walnuts. That's true. Squirrels do, and they are the ones that ate most of them, but it's all because of the deer, and you'll understand. Maybe. My order of events are strange. So anyway, somebody suggested that we gift walnuts, but this time to put a camera on the walnuts and see what happens. And I figured, well, shoot, we've got this new high definition capable 1080 high HD iPhone 11. Why don't we gift walnuts and then put this camera on the walnuts and see what happens? Well, I went out into the yard this morning to get walnuts, and they're all gone. They're all gone, and here's why. I have a herd of free-range deer on my property that when they yard up together in the winter, we'll have as many as 40 deer out here. Well, right now we've got like the 5 mainstay that basically, two of them are little does now. They were fawns that were born here this spring. And then there's one doe from last year and one 3-point buck from last year, and then mama. She's got like 2 adult children and 2 babies. So the 5 of them are always here. Well, this little 3-point, he thinks he's something. He'd be a spike, but he's got a brow tine on his left antler. So he's like 2 here, 1 here. I'll look out the window, and I planted roughly 1,000 trees along my road frontage, and I planted a fruit orchard down there this spring with 36 variously assorted fruit trees in it. Watch right there. Okay, now the fruit trees are guarded. Most of the hardwoods are guarded with these steel cages. My Leland cypresses this year have gotten so big I didn't think the deer would mess with them. Well, this 3-point buck thinks he's bigger than he is. So I'll see him down there rubbing his antlers, on those Leland cypresses. So I'll go out in the yard and I'll say, hey, get on out of there. That means get on out of there in Appalachian. Well, he looks at me like I'm stupid or something, and he keeps on doing it. So I'm like, all right. So I'll pick up a walnut and I'll throw a walnut at him, and it's about 40 yards away. And so I miss big time. So he'll walk over and smell the walnut, and then he'll go back over to start scratching my tree again. So I'll go out to retrieve the walnut or to take a closer shot, and then here comes those squirrels, these psychotic gray squirrels that we've seen as many as 12 at a time in our yard, coming out to get the walnut, running back up the tree, and then laughing at me while it's eating my ammunition. So I'm out of walnuts. So I thought, I can't gift walnuts and put a camera on the walnuts. Let's go into town and get some fruit. Here's where these strange encounters. I see where it went. With these strange bipedal primates came in. So I had to make a couple stops. The first one was, I'm obviously out of walnuts. I can't use that to repel deer anymore, and it obviously wasn't working very well in the first place because they're nocturnal and I can't be out there at night throwing walnuts at them. So I went to get some more of my standby I Must Garden deer repellent. I'm not being paid to promote this. This actually works if you use it. I ordered some on Amazon because I'm out, but it's not going to be here till Tuesday. And it occurred to me, I won't have any Leland cypresses left by Tuesday if I don't do something now. So I don't really like to go into town, but I did because I had to get this. Now, I'm not going to mention which store I went to. There's several. There's so many grain and feed stores here. Central Virginia, I mean, this is horse country. You get in Albemarle County, this is like exotic pet country. You know, they got these exotic game roosters from somewhere in Asia that cost thousands of dollars, literally. They make for good conversation pieces, and it qualifies you for tax write-offs as long as you own more than 5.5 acres worth of land, which a lot of these people do. And I'm not judging, I'm not hating, just because my chickens are boring, like Rhode Island Reds and stuff. But anyway, so I went in to buy this. And here's where the strange encounters started. First, let me put this fruit up here, because we are not going to attract any him, hers, its, or theys if we don't offer them something. And like the guy in the comment section said, we're going to be putting my new 1080 high definition capable recording iPhone 11. We're going to put it on the fruit this time. Guy, I'm out of walnuts, so I can't put walnuts out there and put a camera on the walnuts. We're going to give a fruit basket that I made. I almost bought one, but I made it. So you're going to see here in a minute. Heavier than it looks. We're being very generous with our giving this year. Yes, you're very observant. I am wearing corduroy pants. And I know that's for a reason. You know, I always like to look at what you folks have to say, and as we know, it's been said that I can't possibly have any friends because I own so much corduroy. So while I was going into town before I went, I thought, why don't I wear corduroy? That way people will like stay away from me. I can get done what I need to get done and then come back out here, spray my trees to keep the deer off. Okay, so I put on my corduroy pants. My best corduroy pants, by the way, they're Brooks Brothers. They cost about $220. But no, I didn't pay that for them. I paid $3.99 at the thrift store. My favorite place to shop. I thought I heard something. So anyway, I go into the grain store. I get this stuff. I go to the counter. The cashier rings it up. And she says, "Are you on our team?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "And just why not?" And I was like, "Listen, ma'am, I don't jade for anybody, and I'm not going to do it now. What's the total? What do I owe you?" And she's like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Jade, I don't do it. I'm not going to start now. What do I owe you?" She's like, "What's jade?" I'm like, I don't justify my actions. I don't argue my point. I don't defend what I do, and I don't explain nothing to nobody. Look, I'm not on your team. I don't want to be on your team. I want to pay for my deer repellent, and I want to go. I've got a couple more places I've got to go. And she's like, "Just swipe your card there," whatever, because I had, you know, digging my card out. Team. Man, they have like adult kickball teams and stuff around here. I don't know what kind of team she was trying to recruit me for, but I just don't want to be on anyone's team. I want to get my stuff done. I want to go. I was looking to make sure you guys can see that fruit basket. Yeah, I see the oranges. It's right there. I just need to move out of your way a little bit more. Hey, was that there before I blocked your view? Keep your eyes open right there. Okay, so anyway, I got out of there. I went to the next door because, you know, you guys leave some wonderful comments, and I'm taking the advice, you know, like the putting the high definition camera on the gifts. It's not walnuts, and it's all the deer's fault. But, so I knew I needed another gift. So I went to buy fruit. Well, I get in the store, and they have these gift baskets already out. These fruit gift baskets, I guess for Christmas or whatever. Holiday season of your choice, whatever they call it. And so I'm looking at it. The woman works there, comes up to me, and she says, "Are you buying a fruit basket for that special girl?" I was like, "No, and I can't just say I'm buying a fruit basket for potentially Bigfoot Sasquatch. What would she think?" So I was like, "No." You know, my hands were in my pocket. She couldn't have seen my wedding ring if she wanted to. It's cold out there this morning. It's warmer now. I was like, just a special friend." And she goes, "Honey, my son's the same way, and I still love him. You're going to be okay. You let me know if you need any help." And she walks off to help someone else, and I'm like, wow, so her son is a squatcher too. I wonder, like, if he's had any success with gifting or whatnot. And, you know, I was going to go ask her and follow up with this, but I remembered I had this fruit at home. I hid the peaches under the mandarin oranges, which my son calls man-made oranges because they're kind of a little over. But I don't think him, her, it, or they will mind. I love fruit just before it, like 2 minutes before it rots. That's when it's best. So anyway, here we go. Here's another comment. So I wanted to, you know, taking the one guy's advice. Here's something I'm doing now that we're doing 1080 high definition. You know, I took the advice on the sideburns, even though they're yet to, I still haven't let them grow out. I'm sorry that I didn't draw them in with a Sharpie here today. My shirt underneath this thing, I have a t-shirt. It is tucked in, but I'm not wearing shorts. But I am wearing corduroy pants. So guys, I'm doing my best. But here's another comment. Wow. Now that you record in 1080 high definition, we sure can tell how much coffee you love to drink. Try a teeth whitener, dude. Okay. So, while I'm at the grocery store deciding against a fruit basket, I'm like, you know, I'm trying to please everybody on the internet. Not really, but I'm trying to like take advice and suggestions. So I got some of these teeth whitener things. I mean, people just go back and forth. Sometimes the same people. Look at it. This one really threw me. This was on a comment. This was a comment left. I did a video about retiring here about a week or so ago, and it was about basically retiring from like a real job again to be able to devote the time to potential Bigfoot Sasquatching that is required to do this effectively. Plus, I didn't like that was a boring job. So anyway, there's a comment to this video by this commenter. Bruh, B-R-U-H, bruh, don't sweat the naysayers. They're miserable. They hate their lives. They will always judge you, bruh, but you're my bruh. Keep doing what you do because the rest of us support you. We love your videos, bruh. And we know Bigfoot is out there, and we know you will probably catch him on video, bruh. Even the people that type that they are unsubscribing to your channel are absolutely miserable, jaded, and bitter. Hang in there, bruh. And I was like, you know, it feels good to be supported by somebody who's supportive like that. So I'm scrolling down through the comments, and I see this person's user ID again. I'm like, all right. And they wrote, unsubbed. I was like, what's that? So I look over at the video that comment was left on it. It was one that was obviously done tongue-in-cheek. I mean, the people who get this channel, the people who get me, the people who are my kind of crazy, The people who have been referred to by another commenter as Crazy Lake Nation, they get it. Okay? You guys, you girls, you know occasionally I do a video tongue in cheek. It doesn't mean that we aren't seeing and hearing what we believe we're seeing and hearing on all the other videos that aren't done tongue in cheek. So anyway, I go and I get this, look, whitening treatment, right? And I have yet another strange experience with a bipedal primate. I'm waiting in line to pay, reading the tabloid covers, you know, these are all the terrible things certain politicians doing. Here's how many boyfriends this celebrity has. You know, this celebrity had this many boyfriends and this many girlfriends. Same celebrity. And this guy beside me, he just kept looking at me, and he was very dapper, and I was like, God, he's going to say something. He's going to say something. Please don't say something. He says something. He comments about something on one of the tabloids, and I look over and just kind of giggle, but we make eye contact, and I guess that emboldens him, so he just starts talking, and I'm like, yeah. And I've talked about this before. This happens regularly, and I don't try to hide it anymore. He says, so, you're here at an odd hour. It was like 9:45 a.m. Goes, off from work today? No, I'm working. I mean, I hadn't planned on it, but I mean, I was buying products for my work, you know, to get rid of those coffee stains now that we're recording, uploading, and publishing in 1080 high definition. Not today, because that camera's on the fruit, like that guy suggested we do. He said, oh, well, what kind of work do you do? I said, well, I'm a YouTuber. And his reaction is, as it always is, I mean, just the roof almost lifts off the grocery store. He's laughing so hard. And he goes, you know, I heard there are people that actually make money doing that. I'm like, yeah, I heard that. He's like, no. I mean, there are people who are making a lot of money doing that, as in, like, they can support themselves from it. Like, yeah, I've heard that. He goes, okay, but seriously, though, I mean, what do you do? What kind of work do you do, like pay your bills and stuff? And I was like, my life is boring. You know, I used to be in sales. I know how to turn the tables. Yo, I said, my life is boring, sir. What kind of work do you do? Well, he righted his collar and made sure he didn't have anything hanging out of his nose and straightened his back a bit, and he says, I'm a neurosurgeon. And I went, I almost raised the roof off the grocery store. It's like, why are you laughing? It's like, well, you laughed when I told you what I did, so I just thought I'd laugh when you told me what you did. And this is what I'm talking about. I don't understand these strange bipedal primates. I don't know if it's the language, the body language you're supposed to use when you discuss issues with them or have a conversation. I used to think I knew, but then maybe 8 years overseas, I forgot. So he goes, well, but see, I have a real job. I said, yeah, you're a neurosurgeon. You know, I said, I've heard that there are people that actually make money practicing neurosurgery. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I heard there are some, no, you don't understand what I'm saying. I heard there are some that actually make enough money practicing neurosurgery to be able to support themselves. And he's like, yeah. Well, then it was my turn to pay. And he just stood there and looked confused the rest of the time, which was good. You know, I enjoyed that. But anyway, what a day. All these strange experiences with these strange bipedal primate types. People wonder why I spend so much time in the woods behind my house looking for the potentially Bigfoot Sasquatch that may or may not even be out here. Tell you what, I think I'd rather hang out with him, her, it, or they more than most of the him, hers, its, and theys down there. I already read the instructions. They're going to do this for like 30 minutes. Said do the bottom first for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, you hear what happened just before I left town and came home. Wait a minute. So I'm following the advice. Suggestions. This next story I've got for you about probably the strangest bipedal primate I ran into today is going to blow your mind. I mean, you're going to be like, oh gosh. OMG. It's like OMG. I can't believe there's actually people like that in the world today. Okay, look. I like that in my car in the parking lot. And it's business down there. I've been hanging here, I've been there, there's a way to hit it.